wave upon wave of storms pounded Oklahoma. And take a look at some of this damage here behind me. Trees snapped in half. Behind those trees, buildings missing the roof, walls collapsed. Thousands of people are still without power, and many more are trying to pick up the pieces.
Large tornado confirmed on the ground, moving north just south of Sulphur.
Violent storms ravaged Oklahoma overnight.
Oh, heck, listen to it.
The small city of Sulphur devastated after taking a direct hit.
All of downtown Sulphur is destroyed.
At sunrise, the widespread damage revealed. The tornado shredding buildings, turning them into piles of metal and brick. 19-year-old Addie Gordon was helping out at the local steakhouse when she heard sirens and ran for cover.
As we're running through the building to get down to that basement, the glass is all shattering out of the windows, and it's just like a bomb went off.
At any point, were you scared?
Oh, I screamed. I thought I was going to pee myself.
It's so much worse in person. Just so hard to wrap your mind around.
Dana Vanderver and Donna Lewis's business was wiped out one day after the store's grand opening.
It's too soon to even think about it, really. We don't know what we'll do.
Dozens of tornadoes ripped through the plains this weekend, impacting millions. In the city of Marietta, near the Texas-Oklahoma border, a tornado carved a canyon through this Dollar Tree warehouse. The National Weather Service says a preliminary report of this storm called it an EF3, and that's wind speeds of at least 136 miles per hour. And residents here are saying cleanup will take weeks. In West Texas, severe storms unleashed powerful tornadoes. One touching down in the city of Hawley, destroying several homes. Caroline Vandergriff of CBS News Texas has one family's harrowing story.
This is all that's left of the Lambert family home. When the tornado hit, they first hunkered down, then ran for their lives. Their car destroyed, their phone blown away.
These are photos of Casey Lambert and her badly injured 7-year-old son, Lane. Today, they shared their story.
We saw it hit our friend's house. That was the point that my husband said, you need to go in the closet with the children. We sat down, we grabbed hands, and what did we do?
We said a prayer.
We said a prayer. We did, and we just prayed, God, please keep us safe during this tornado.
She tried to hold on to both kids. The wind was too powerful.
Lane was sucked out of our hold, and he was sucked and thrown about 25 feet. I just remember screaming for him. I thought he was dead. I thought he was gone. And I had already begun mourning that. The only fear I ever have as a mom is not being able to rescue my child in a dangerous time, and that's exactly what happened.
In the Houston area, relentless rain is swelling rivers and lakes.
Oh my God, he's going in the water.
In the town of Shepherd, flash flooding swallowed up the road and this 18-wheeler that tried to test the water. Luckily, the driver made it out to safety. In Conroe, more than 10 inches of rain has fallen in the past 5 days.
Water went from my windowsill to about 4 inches below it in my backyard, so it was just collecting. I don't know how the fences held it.
All that rain has pushed the nearby San Jacinto River 20 feet above the flood stage, and it could be a long weekend for these folks because there is more rain in the forecast.
Tonight, a possible tornado touching down in southwest Michigan.
That's crazy work.
The storm tearing the side off of this FedEx facility in Portage near Kalamazoo. It was a night of ferocious storms, including this moment when a tornado tore through a hotel in Bartlesville, Oklahoma Monday, sending terrified guests running for cover. The same tornado on the ground for about 35 miles also plowed through neighboring Barnsdall with menacing EF4 winds of at least 170 miles per hour.
60, 70 homes that were totally destroyed, and I think the count's up to probably 350 or so statewide now.
The violent storm system, the third most active day this year, was shared misery. Last night, at least 22 reported tornadoes swept across 7 states in parts of the Great Plains and the central U.S. From above, Barnsdall is a trail of splintered homes and uprooted trees. And as the tornado bore down, Carl Kelly and his frail mother took shelter at home.
I could hear it coming. I drug her into that bathroom, covered her up with my body.
You laid on top.
Yeah.
She's 80, what years old?
80.
This is what's left of the bathroom that saved them. Even after the tornado passed, Carl and his mom were trapped under this debris for 15 minutes. That is until the high school football coach heard them and pulled them out of here. Now residents are beginning to clean up, searching for treasured pieces of their lives.
We'll work together and we'll all get it back together, and teamwork, and that's what you do.
This pile of scattered debris behind me was once Ray of Hope Ranch, a place where people would come for horse therapy to overcome trauma. During the storm, there were several horses inside this arena behind me, and some feared the worst. But afterwards, Nora, well, they all came back home.
There's more dangerous weather in the forecast tonight after a string of brutal storms tore through the South last night, with at least 9 tornadoes touching down in 5 states. 3 people died in the storms and more are injured, including a 10-year-old boy who's in critical condition after he was swept into a storm drain in Tennessee. CBS's Dave Malkoff reports tonight from the hard-hit community of Columbia, Tennessee.
4 days of pounding tornadoes is taking a toll.
That is 100% a tornado.
With relentless heavy rain and wind pummeling the region, the latest round on Wednesday, at least 2 twisters touched down in Tennessee. An EF3 with winds in excess of 140 miles per hour caused catastrophic damage in Maury County. 1 person died and 100 homes were damaged or destroyed.
You can look around and see all the stuff that was pulled out of the house.
David White watched from a few blocks away as his family's house was hit, with his sister-in-law inside.
She was able to get down off of the 2nd floor before all of this came off of the front of the house. So she's lucky to be alive.
Oh my God.
The tornado passed near Spring Hill, destroying a barn at Spirit Horse Stables and flipping a car on Interstate 65. Along with the strong winds, heavy rain up to 9 inches north of Nashville, causing flash flooding. A 10-year-old child is now in critical condition after being swept into a drain pipe. Near the town of Hennigar, Alabama, calm after the storm.
That's what saved our lives.
Wanda White took cover inside her shelter. Her home survived a tornado 13 years ago. Now, there's nothing left.
We started hearing trees popping and blowing and awful sounds, and this is what we woke up to at 5 this morning, and this is what we saw.
Wow, it really feels like tornadoes are happening all at once this season. Just since April 25th, there have been more than 300 reports of tornadoes. And Nora, if you add all that up, that is nearly half of the tornado reports this year.
A lot of severe weather. Dave Malkoff, thank you very much.
The tornado that ripped through Greenfield, Iowa, left a trail of destruction several miles long.
This is a search and rescue mission, and it will continue to be throughout the day.
Winds in excess of 136 miles per hour shredded homes and flung cars and trees, sending debris more than 6 miles into the sky.
Oh, whose TV that is?
Zeke Chafa says one of his 2 daughters was at home alone when the twister hit. She survived by hiding in their basement.
I got my daughter. Everything else can be replaced.
Including, he says, his home of 20 years.
Is all this stuff yours, do you think?
I don't think any of it is. That's a fridge from somebody's house. My fridge is over there. It's a big tornado.
At least 18 tornadoes were reported across the state yesterday, including this one near the town of Nevada. A traffic camera captured the moment it barreled across a highway, flipping this semi-truck. The storms are part of an unrelenting season of severe weather. More than 850 tornadoes have been reported already this year across the U.S., far above average. Back in Greenfield, sisters Keely and Kaya Pickrell told us they're still in shock.
You must have a lot of memories here.
Yeah.
Do you want to build new ones?
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. I hope so.
We have seen residents here all day helping one another, picking up the pieces. And they all say the same thing. They want to rebuild if they can. Nora?
Roxana Saberi, thank you for being there.
deadly severe weather is on the move. Multiple violent tornadoes are moving across the South and Midwest tonight, where more than a dozen people are dead and many more injured. The trails of damage stretching across Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma.
Hell, it's headed right for us.
Daylight exposed the devastation from a confirmed tornado in Cook County, Texas.
From the roof, it's all coming down.
Yeah, everything coming down. We saw how it was moving everything.
This is what remains of a rest stop about 90 minutes north of Dallas.
I kid you not, 30 seconds in, someone goes, "Get to the bathroom now."
That voice was holiday traveler Hugo Parra, whose quick thinking likely saved lives.
So you got everybody into both of the bathrooms?
Both, and some people stay on the hallway.
What we heard was, "Get to the bathroom now." And that's when everything hit. It saved me and my wife's life, and 50, 60 other people.
The same system then moved through neighboring Arkansas, where at least 6 people are confirmed dead. Rain and massive hailstones pounded homes across the South this weekend. In Oklahoma, 2 people were killed and several more injured when powerful storms passed through overnight. And back here in Texas, search and rescue efforts are still underway, and officials fear the death toll could continue to climb.
Power remains out for hundreds of thousands of customers from here in Texas all the way up to Ohio as power crews get ready to put the power back on for people this Memorial Day weekend. Jerika.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Terrifying accounts there. Dave Malkoff, thank you. Now to a concerning number of tornadoes. More than 500 have been spotted in the U.S. since April, and there's new evidence tonight that Tornado Alley may be expanding beyond the Midwest. CBS's Dave Malkoff shows us why.
April 2nd, 2024, an EF1 tornado sliced the roof off a funeral home in Sunbright, Tennessee. Noah and Lexi Hamby were next door outside.
We was probably about right here when it hit us.
He was carrying their 4-year-old. She had their baby in her arms.
I mean, it literally swooped me up off my feet with the baby in my hands. He had me by the hood of my jacket, was like choking me.
Yeah, if she wasn't wearing a hoodie, she'd been gone.
They were trying to find a basement to take cover in a part of the country that's not used to tornadoes.
The most likely place in the world for a tornado is right here in Tornado Alley. In fact, look at the 1950s. You can see a clear line right through the center of the country. But if you fast forward to the 2010s, tornadoes don't necessarily stay in their alley anymore.
Dr. Timothy Coleman wrote a study released in April after researching tornado locations dating back to the 50s.
The tornado alley now in the United States, in terms of the maximum area for tornadoes, is an area from the southeastern U.S., parts of Mississippi and Alabama, up into Tennessee, Kentucky, and even parts of southern Indiana and Illinois.
Meteorologists have not settled on a definitive reason for this change, but the shift can be dangerous.
A lot of that increase in the east has been at night and in the winter when people don't expect tornadoes and may not be as ready for them.
We really about lost our lives.
As the Hambys tried to get to a safe place, they found their neighbor, Kevin Daniels, just in time.
And he grabbed her, and then I grabbed him. They both had a baby in their arms when I dragged everybody out of it.
That's where me and my daughter was laying.
Learning what so many in Tornado Alley were taught, that seconds count.
2 seconds slower, me and her would be gone, absolutely.
Dave Malkoff, CBS News in Sunbright, Tennessee.
I'm just really happy that you can tell me and help me understand what a tornado is like. You know, it not only does it hurt some people, but it also kind of brings the community together, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It was devastating because we had F4, and you see all this. This is already a lot. Like, a lot of people came in here and cleaned up, but it's not even half finished. other people. Our family didn't get hurt. Good, that's good to know, but it's kind of sad to know that other families did get hurt also. They get hurt really bad.
Your life is a little bit different now than it was before.
It doesn't even feel like the same place. Like, it was crazy. I was in tears, like, because I didn't expect this much damage.
It's just so random the way tornadoes hit places.
Yeah, like one house is damaged like ours, and then the other house over there, barely damaged. They said it was 2 miles away, so maybe the tip of it hit our house. I'm just happy. Well, there's nothing really to be happy about because the house, but it's just...
You can be happy.
Yeah, well, a little bit.
There are things to be happy that you still have your Mimi.
Yeah, and I'm just happy to be that everybody's safe.
Is that hard, not having your room that you used to know?
Yeah, one of my robot toys things survived, but my mom said, and I said it to myself, that I can't make this about me.
But it is about you a little bit because you survived an EF4 tornado. And your family loves you, and you're here to tell this story.
Yeah, a lot of people said that they're happy that I'm still alive. And I can tell the story about people. I'm happy I can, though, because just to tell everybody how it was like and stuff, how the past was.
Were you able to go to your last day of school, or how has it changed?
Well, my last day of school was after the tornado, too, like a couple days after. Nobody knew in my class about the tornado. I was like, huh? Like, the teacher was like, oh, hello, and kind of mad that I didn't finish my homework. I was like, did you see what happened?
That is a good excuse. You know, I've heard some bad, I didn't do my homework excuses, but that's a pretty good one. Do you have one wish for the future?
Well, I wish that, like, all this is, like, gone and we have a new house that we can just live in. We need to get used, it's gonna take a while to get used to, but I hope this all gets cleaned up and you have a new house.
You want this part to be over like that?
Yeah.
You just want to get to the point where you have a new house?
Yeah, to, like, the future, so I don't have to think about it anymore.
You need a time machine.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Well, thank you, River, for talking to us.
You're welcome.
Thank you for telling your story.
Violent tornadoes spawned from an enormous storm system touched down in at least 7 states Friday night into Saturday.
Oh my God!
Near St. Louis, Missouri, the storms arrived in the dark, illuminated by lightning strikes.
I had glass flying everywhere into my face and my arms and everything.
Dan Lawnstrom took cover inside the cab of his tractor trailer in this community west of St. Louis. His truck slammed by another truck, pushed over by the high winds. He watched as the twister blew apart a nearby gas station and restaurant.
And you know, there's tons of people up in the store that were just running around crying and screaming, and it was pretty scary.
Families in a nearby neighborhood ran for their basements. Joy Asdu and her children came back upstairs to find the entire second floor of their home gone.
I thought that we were gonna die. My kids were crying. I was just trying to cover their heads, and
could you, when you're down in the basement,
we couldn't see anything. We didn't know what was happening.
The fast-moving storm caused blizzard conditions near Flagstaff, Arizona, resulting in this deadly 18-vehicle pileup. When the storm reached West Texas, it kicked up dust, leading to a deadly multi-vehicle crash. Winds sparked and then supercharged dozens of wildfires in several states. Homes burned to the ground in Texas and Oklahoma.
The front side and the back side of this neighborhood totally burned, and just so thankful that we didn't have any fatalities here.
In the northern plains, the storm is expected to drop up to a foot of snow.
There were no deaths in this community, Nancy, but some of the people I talked to here had no insurance.
We led this broadcast Friday evening telling you about the risk of widespread severe storms heading into the weekend.
The warning from the National Weather Service proved accurate, with at least 60 tornadoes across the south and central U.S. At least 42 people were killed in 8 states.
Most of the fatalities were in Missouri, where Jason Allen has a remarkable story of survival.
My room was right here.
That room had kept Alea Contreras safe in previous storms.
And, like, right here was where my door was.
Right here was your door?
Yeah,
And where is your door now?
over there.
As tornadoes threatened Poplar Bluff, the third grader stressed to her mom that this time they needed to go.
We've never left for a tornado until this time for some reason.
What's that reason?
My daughter waking up, freaking out, and just a gut feeling. Someone told me to leave.
Alea's mother, Kelsey Webb, rushed them to her brother's home, where the three of them huddled in a bathtub.
You feel pretty lucky that something inside you this time told you to leave?
Yeah,
Because you could have been here through all of that.
we wouldn't be alive.
At least 13 tornadoes were reported this weekend across Missouri, killing 12 people. Some in Poplar Bluff may only be alive because of Jerry Moore. The pastor ran from door to door, offering shelter in his church.
So you had all those people, 20 people huddled right here?
Yeah, right here. Here's the chairs right here, if you can see them.
Moore told us a tornado passed directly overhead. It destroyed the church, but spared everyone inside.
It was a shock to see all this gone here, where we just had services a week ago Sunday, but now we come back and it's total devastation.
And Jason Allen joins us now from Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Smart young girl there, Jason. You've covered many storms over the years, but this one certainly seemed a bit different, didn't it?
It really did, Maurice. This was a very narrow path of damage, maybe stretching across the street, the houses on both sides. And often when I've seen those storms over the years, it means a tornado of lesser intensity, EF zeros and ones, as evidenced by the damage in the church behind me. And this is where the pastor sheltered with people. This was a narrow tornado, but still incredibly violent.
The storms are blamed for at least 7 deaths. In Tennessee, a man and his teenage daughter were killed when their home was destroyed.
Omar Villafranca is in Lake City, Arkansas, where he got a close-up look at the devastation.
You see this. I mean, where do you start?
Over. I mean,
you start over. After years of chasing tornadoes, one finally caught up with Jared Edson. So the truck's over there.
Yeah. Carport's over there.
Where's the boat?
Boat trailer's over here.
And you don't know where the boat is?
I don't know where the boat's at.
Wow. Luckily, instead of riding out the storm, Edson, his wife, and 3 kids drove to a shelter. The tornado that hit them was just one of 33 reported that tore through the South and Midwest last night.
The size. That's the biggest one I've ever seen in my life. Even chasing or anything. That's the biggest one I've ever seen.
Edson knew his property took a direct hit after seeing this video on social media.
I just see my house blowing up.
You see it?
Yeah, you can see the transformers going off, and what looks like either my carport or my truck is going across the sky.
When you saw it, did you know?
Yeah.
You knew that was yours?
Yeah.
Edson lost most of his material things, but not everything. The family plans to make new memories and keep their plans to go on a Make-A-Wish trip later this month to Disney World for his daughter who has cystic fibrosis.
They asked last night, it's like, well, you know, the house is gone. What about the trip? It's like, the trip's still on. You know, we're going to do that. We're going to be able to go.
You're not going to let anything get in the way?
Nope.